Okay, we're all set up. We're gonna grind out this stainless crack on this rotor. I have a welding filter on it, so it's gonna flash back and forth. But I'm gonna just grind this little crack out, and then we'll TIG weld it up. So I'll just stop it for when I'm doing the grinding. Otherwise, it'll just. Oh, we'll try it. Why don't we do that? Now, there's no foot pedal in my world right now. We gotta do the old scratch start, but that'll be okay. I probably should have started weaving a little bit earlier to make it look consistent, but that'll be fine. I don't know how. So what I did is, I don't really want to change the balance too much. So these guys are cracked. So I buffed them carefully with a little burr. But even just looking right here, I see another crack right there. So I think I'm just going to weld the cracks without filler. I know that's kind of cheating, and I know it's kind of I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how dirty it is inside these cracks, and if I can just weld itself, or maybe I just have to bite the bullet and put some filler rod in there. It's pretty thin stuff. I don't want to sugar the back too bad, so I thought if I just kind of came in here, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, we're gonna try weld up that little crack in there. We'll just do a pass without a filler rod and see what happens. See if I can weld it back to itself. Well, that's gonna have to do. I think I don't want to get it too hot. I don't want to. I wonder if we can see the inside. I don't want to sugar the back too much. I think I will have to use a bit of filler material. I don't want to grind the crack too much. It seems to be handling it doesn't seem to be dirty, or there's not too much grime in each crack, so that's a good thing. So hopefully I can just hit those. I mean, these copper, or whatever, I think these are copper. Yeah, this looks like copper that's welded to the stainless. And this bell is is I think mainly just fan. As far as of course we don't want it to break, but I think like the majority of these are cracked. Let's do this. Let's try this guy here. I hadn't cleaned him yet, so we just hit him with. I'd set up this. Had this little diamond bit. I wanted to be very conservative, so I set up this diamond little bit to just scratch off the oxide layer or whatever grime was on there. What my biggest fear was is that there would be oil or oxide or contaminant in the crack, and I would strike off and it would just go bloof and be porosity and whatnot in there. But so far, that first one seemed to be fine. I think I will put a couple of dabs, just even to keep it cool as I come across here and finish off. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Let's see if we can see the inside. Yeah, so I really don't want to put see that? We might have to, we'll look after the welding portion is done, but it'll just have to be. I put tape on these shafts and I got it on a cloth because I don't want there to be any potential stray arcs onto these, especially this guy, especially the bearing surfaces. But yeah, we'll quickly weld these up, and that'll be okay. Here's a crack here. That'll be that. I touched, shame, I touched my filler rod to the tungsten. We'll give her a okay, keep on rolling. I got it sticking out fairly far out of the cup to get it down in there, but seems to be working. Just trying to get those hairline cracks, and should work. Okay, well, I was able to do a bit of TIG welding. I haven't done that for a while. Anyways, yeah, there's no high frequency, there's no pedal, there's good old scratch start here at this place. It turned out pretty good. There was a little crack here. This was cracked, and I don't know if you can see. I kind of didn't want to put filler rod, but sometimes it's probably best. I'd rather change the weight a little bit than have these broken off. But yeah, so I would have to come in. I started on this side, and then I'd go this way, and then I'd have to pull out, but try not to pull so far away that my shielding gas would disappear. And then I actually had to go back in a couple of times to fill in my crater. That's why there's these little lumps on each one. But I mean, it turned out pretty good. They're better than it was. And as far as its structure, I guess it does hold. It does hold this up, but so do these big bars here. Like these are big brass bars, but yeah. So I've welded these guys all up now, and yeah, they'll be good. This is yeah, just a simple old TIG welder. This is, I think, 308 low carbon stainless. This is the, nice to meet you. This is just a glove I have on this block, just so that when you transition, see if I get this. I never liked these TIG blocks out in the field. I don't know if that's really what you call it, but it's where the gas comes in, and it's where the power from the welder goes into the torch, or the TIG torch assembly. But these things, this is a massive risk to have it. It's a massive risk to have that get stray arc on something. I taped these guys up too, just in case, you know, heaven forbid you have the TIG flow or, you know, fall against our bearing or the gears or anything like that. And then this is the old Lincoln. Yeah, so I think we're on, does it say we're on reverse polarity? Negative polarity? I always forget. Anyways, yeah, so we were running at looks like maybe 55 amps, and yes, this is a sweet old unit. Look at that, welder supply, Calgary and Lethbridge. And then it came out of the University of Calgary somehow, because it had this university sticker on there. That's pretty neat. Yeah, so pretty straightforward. Years ago I had access and used all sorts of pulse and high freak and you know, like a pedal and all that gear, and it was awesome. But this is what I got, and it worked pretty good. So now we got these little cracks welded up. So there's a little low budget TIG scratch start for you. Anyways, we'll keep on. We'll get this rotor installed, and yeah, thanks again for joining me.